Welcome to the Kent State University Orchestra Concerto Competition Winners Concert. Tonight we will hear 3 performances. One will be the Rosario Marimba Concerto. We'll also hear music from Max Bruch, a Romanza, and we'll hear a little suite, the Opus 1 from Carl Nielsen, the little suite for strings. We're very pleased to have with us Gabriel McWilliams, who hails from around the Rochester, New York area. Do what you did earlier. He's a percussionist. I want to ask you quickly a couple of questions before we hear you perform tonight. Why did you get into this? First, why did you get into music in the first place? And then, why did you pick the instrument you ended up embracing?
So, my dad was a drum set player, and my mom's a violinist. So,
You had to choose.
So how it was determined was when I was the age of 2, my mom would play a little violin thing, and my reaction was, my dad started playing the drum set, I was like, woo! So after that, my dad started teaching me right from the age of 2. When I was young, just holding sticks, kind of going pot, 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 and then he even got me a computer game, a music game that taught rhythm.
Oh my goodness.
And then he eventually taught me as I was getting older until about age 7, and then I started joining my high school groups and all that stuff. So yeah, started on a drum set, then I went to the marching world, and then marimba, and here we are today.
Okay, so what do you want to do with your degree when you're done with Kent State?
I want to come back for a master's, and then after that I want to teach high school band.
Oh, do you really?
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I want to do the marching band, the wind ensemble, all of it.
Can't do better than that.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you pick what is tonight's piece, and why did you pick it?
The Marimba Concerto by Ney Rosario, and how it got decided was after we all got sent home due to the pandemic, I texted Dr. Home and I'm like, hey, I need a 4 1/3 range marimba piece to work on over the summer. And he goes, here's a concerto.
Really?
Yeah, and he goes, you're going to do the contest and you're in it. And I'm like, sweet. Not the answer I was expecting, but I'm glad it happened.
Has it been hard to deal with all the changes that COVID has brought to you?
It's been very different because, especially in a percussionist, not everyone has a marimba in their basement. Luckily I do, but I don't have timpani in my basement. I don't have tambourines, triangles, whatever, you name it. There's so many different things.
So it's a quiet place?
Not in my house, no. With snare drums and marimbas, no, it's not quiet.
Tell us a little bit about the piece.
So he's a Brazilian composer, and the piece is actually really cool. It started out as marimba and orchestra. That was the original. Mm-hmm. And then there was a piano reduction, and then eventually there was also a wind ensemble arrangement. Mm-hmm. There's also a percussion ensemble arrangement. So you can do it in every single setting you want. And so I like that there's 4 movements of it. It's fast, slow, moderate, and then a fast finale. And there's also some jazz influence. There's some blues licks at the beginning of part 1, and which is very different on a marimba than it is on actual jazz instruments. But yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell.
And real quickly, before a performance, do you have butterflies? Do you feel sick, or are you just gleeful and excited to do it?
Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter what the performance is. Sometimes I'll just be like, cool. Sometimes I'll be like, oh no. But then I just get up there and I just do my best to play my heart out.
And you will.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Marimba Concerto by Rosario with Gabriel McWilliams and the Kent State University Orchestra. With me now is Valentina Pulido Pardo. She is a musician a little bit further away from Rochester. From where?
From Colombia.
And I want to ask you, why did you get into music in the first place?
My mom plays violin, and in the city, my city where I'm from, we have a musical high school. My mom studied there, so I entered when I was 10 years old, and I picked the violin as my mom. But 4 years later, a friend that played the viola borrowed me, and when I played the C string, I fell in love, so I said to my mom that immediately I wanted to play viola. So since then, since I'm 14 years old, I play viola.
What's it been like? All your life basically devoted to an instrument like that. It's a hard thing to continue and continue to improve all the time. It must be frustrating when you don't get the progression you want, and yet you sound so beautiful to other people, they don't understand why you get that way.
I think it's a unique feeling. I think like artists do this for love, and it's something that I don't know how to explain. When you play with people, when you play alone, like whatever format it is, it's just magic. And I think that the improvement, it's like with yourself and your instrument, but it's also like how a human being. So I love everything that it involves.
It's wonderful. What do you want to do with this degree that you get from here?
I like for my life to play and teach. I feel that playing is beautiful. Like for that reason, I do this, and it's also like all the knowledge that you like have learned your life from wonderful professors. You should like share what you know with people and make the life happy.
It's very rare to have young people so devoted to the art of music, and I appreciate what you're doing. You have a piece by Brooke, it's Romanza. Why did you pick that?
Why did I pick
Yes.
Romanza? When I got graduated from my high school, I played this piece when I was 16, and I remember that was so difficult for me. And my professor at the time told me that he picked that piece for me because he said like I'm a romantic person. So I really like it, and I really wanted to have this opportunity with an orchestra, and this is my first time playing with an orchestra, and I'm so grateful with Dr. King, with my friends that played there, with my partners. I think they did a great job, and I'm so happy for that.
It's amazing you chose purposely a challenging piece. That's wonderful. Okay, tell us a little bit more about this piece in particular.
Okay, the Romanza was composed by Max Bruch in 1911. This term was originally a song word in Spain and Italy, and a romantic tale in France and Germany in the 15th century. And then in the 18th century, the term was became like a vocal and instrumental piece, keeping the romantic, lyrical mood and character.
Okay.
And I think like in this piece, it has like different states. So the first part is like a young love, like sad. Then it's like a stormy, like agitated, and at the end it's like the reminiscence of
wonderful.
everything. So I think it's beautiful. Like you also, when you play, you think in in singing, and it's beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Valentina Pulido Pardo performing the Max Bruch Romanza. We finish tonight with a piece by Carl Nielsen. He lived from 1865 to 1931, that's 66 years. Even though he was on the 100 kroner Danish mark in his own country, he wasn't that well known outside of his native land until people like Leonard Bernstein and other composers of the mid to late 20th century really started giving some recognition. His personal life was a little bit different. He had a wife who was a very famous sculptor, but she would spend months away from him and their 3 kids. Something was very rare in those days. He was forced, I say that, to raise them by himself, something he never complained about. This piece was from 1888, I believe. It was 3 years before he got married, and it was his, as I might have mentioned, his Opus 1, and it was composed when he was just 22 years old. It is the Little Suite for Strings by Carl Nielsen. Here is the Kent State University Orchestra performing it.
Thank you.